So this is where kind of some of the magic happens. This is where the feeds come in from the vehicle or from our WeWalk equipment here, and person sitting here kind of directs. We kind of decide what goes out to you guys. Where typically, yeah, it's the game drive vehicle, or if something interesting were to pop up at the watering hole, we can quickly cut back and forth. And so, yeah, it's what this room is. And yeah, if you have questions, you can do that by sending them to Final Control at wildearth.tv or logging on to the chat room, which is under We Social Network, and under We Shows there's WeChat. And yeah, you can just chat with. The other amazing thing is you're chatting with people from all over the world, which is really great. And it looks like we are getting plenty more questions coming in. All right, we're getting asked the question, why do we see animals in infrared instead of color at night? The animals, especially lions and cougars, etc., look fantastic in color. So does the moon. The infrared is actually a longer wavelength in light, which actually allows us to. The infrared actually usually just needs a little bit of light out there to pick up on everything, and typically it's either in black and white or kind of a greenish color. But it allows us to kind of see animals in more of a natural way because it doesn't put out any real light. There's only a slight little faint red glow on the equipment itself, to where actually some of the animals don't pick up on these longer wavelengths, which the red light tends to be, and because a lot of them are missing the cones that pick up color, so they actually see in black and white and actually can't really see the lights, and so we have that out there so that they're not as frightened, because then some of the game drivers you can see with some of the spotlights used on them, the regular white lights, they can kind of be a little skittish, but as soon as we turn off the lights and just turn on our infrared lights, they tend to kind of calm back down and tend to really think that we don't see them, so they relax, and so that's why it's not in color, because the infrared just kind of, the way that it works, it just kind of turns things to black and white, so that's why at night here, you're just seeing them in black and white. Where this evening it was fortunate enough with that male lion, there was other game drives there with spotlights on it, so we were able to get some color because there was enough light to that the cameras switched back off the infrared. So yeah, that's why they're in black and white, is because of the infrared. Thanks, Peter. Peter's just making a comment for me, saying that he left me some food, which is kind of great, so that I can kind of eat afterwards. All right, so I'm just gonna look back through the chat room. I'll quickly pan over. And I guess while I'm just reading the chat, I'll let you guys listen to the frogs. Even though some of you like him, some of you don't. So kind of going through all the things, I'll kind of answer a couple of different questions all at once. So I'm just kind of reading through. Okay, I'll just kind of turn down the frogs a little bit. Looks like a couple questions and comments. Lots of people are enjoying the frogs and kind of wondering if I can send them some. Unfortunately, not. There's a whole CITES Act and everything. But some people are wondering if they're getting ready to spawn, if they kind of migrate. Uh, Type of thing. Yes, they're getting ready to spawn. That's kind of why they're calling. They're first popping out and just kind of trying to attract mates and all that. That's kind of why they're nonstop calling to hopefully get, yeah, reproduce and start spawning. As for migrating, I don't know if they actually migrate anywhere. I know that they do kind of travel around to various areas if things get a little dry or kind of spread out, the young ones spread out. But I do believe that they actually kind of throughout the winter just bury themselves deep in the mud and sort of kind of get into a hibernation type of stage. So yeah, I think that's what some of the frogs are. As for the colors, I'm not too sure of the ones that are in the watering hole because yeah, I just typically see them in black and white. But at some point, I do want to kind of go out there looking at some of the frogs and other kind of species that come out during the night to get a closer look and also to get some identification. All right. All right, and got a question about wondering if the morning drives will be starting any earlier soon due to how much lighter it's getting. It's hard to say. It might. It all depends on kind of the game lodges what they decide because we go at the same time they do, so that we're also another pair of eyes for them as well as there more eyes for us. To where when I first started here, they did switch at one point. Kind of a half an hour later in the evening and half an hour earlier in the morning. So yeah, they might change the times again with the days being a little bit longer and a little bit brighter. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure we'll try and give plenty of warning if it does change again. All right, and I think someone else was wondering about the cable aspect in the UK. It's just going to be pretty much the same thing here that everybody else is seeing. It's just you'll be able to some of our viewers will be able to just watch it on the television. So I'm not too sure how that's going to work. That is still all kind of it right now in the works. The whole process is in the works, but it's getting closer to that. And I'm sure it'll probably be Graham will probably post a blog about that at one point. And let's see. Someone was wondering about there was a fire recently in Kruger, and someone was wondering about that. I've not heard anything up to date about the fire, about like how big it got, how many acres or hectares it burned. So I'm not too sure. I'll try and look into that because I'm always curious about fires. I've actually at one point was a wildland firefighter certified, and last summer where I worked, I stayed at a fire crew bunkhouse and was always interested in their jobs. So yeah, fire's definitely interesting. I got a question, what do I miss the most about the U.S. or Canada, I guess, because I've spent half my life in Canada, half my life in the U.S. It's kind of hard to say. I miss some of my family and friends, of course, but it's really kind of hard to say what I miss. Yeah, nothing off the top of my head that I kind of really absolutely miss because coming out here, we're actually in the middle of the bush, but have internet access and have various other access to things. So yeah, even though I'm kind of half the world away, it doesn't feel like it. And the other kind of amazing thing is I've met so many new friends with Wild Earth. It's just so amazing that there's so many people out there, and it is a whole community and a whole internet family, pretty much, which is just amazing. As we're seeing here, to where there's 41 people in the chat room right now, so we've got at least 41 viewers, which is amazing. All right. So yeah, wow, there's lots of chatting going on. So yeah, if I'm not getting to your questions, and actually I'm going to quickly pan back to the watering hole because it's hard to make out, but I think that might be a white-tailed mongoose. Oops. Okay, come back.